Welcome back. So I am going to try to do kind of a live activity with you. And so here you are going to translate a problem, I would say, to a Python code. So I am going to give you a description of what I want the problem like to do exactly. And we are going to cover that together. Okay, so most programmers are written to solve an end user at the end. There is a user's problem, and the Python program is written to solve this problem. Okay, so to do so, you are usually you usually need to get some information from that user. Okay, so rather than just jumping and printing a string to the screen, you will now interact with the user. And so interact with the user means you are going to print something, and the user, which only sees the output from your programs. Okay. So for example, here what we have here is what you write, and this is the final thing that your user sees. So here the user only sees in this case. So we want that the user also interact. The user write his name, for example, write something for him. Okay, so here we are going to interact with the user. Okay, what we are going to do, so we come back to our description. Okay, so we are going to use the input function. Okay, and this input function actually will save anything that the user is going to type as a variable. Okay, so you can type whatever you want, and once you hit enter, that will be saved as a variable. Okay, so this is what I was trying to explain in the lab. I'm just doing a demo for this right now. The length now of the function, the length function, this, like if you have the parentheses, then this is a function. So the length function now is going to return the number of characters. Okay, given that input string like the user was giving to you. Okay, so for example, if I print length of Python for beginners, so for here I am going to print this is not the user. For this case, it's something that the programmer is defining, just want to check. Okay, we can see later for the user in our example. Now I have the sentence Python for beginners, but I want to know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, so the length. Okay, so here it's 20. So this gives the output when you give the string, and then you ask or you apply the length function. It's just len. Okay, you need to learn this. You're going to learn while using, or simply you can ask ChatGPT at some times, and you remember, I seen somewhere len. So when you will see, as a result, you just kind of refreshing your memory. Okay, so this len function also, just as a note, it counts the spaces inside your string. Okay, and it also counts if you have any tab, for example, tab characters, also they count. Okay, so I think that we are good with the length function. Next, we are going to just practice. So this is mainly useful when you receive some input from the user. Okay, for example, you have noticed that you will fill a form online. So each input field probably could have a limit. Or let's say, for example, 50 characters just for your name. Okay, so using the length function in this case, probably we can enforce a limit on the number of characters. So we know that there is no name that can go beyond this. Okay, just kind of controlling what user is going to input or write for you. So if the user here, in this case, try to type more characters, then we are not going to allow them. So it depends on the use case, it depends on the need, but this is kind of a general, I would say, application of the length function, which itself kind of general purpose function. So it's not limited to counting characters in the strings, for example. This is why it's not a method. It's not only applied in string, so it's a function. So in the future, probably you can see the length function applied to lists. It can happen. So you can apply to different data types. Okay, so this is the general purpose function, like I was mentioning. Okay, now let's go to our program requirements. Okay, so for this program, what we want, first we want to greet the user. For example, I print a message say, for example, hello there, okay? Then I want to ask the user to enter his name, okay? So then I save that name in a variable, okay? And finally, for example, I tell to the user how many characters are in your name, okay? So this is just a simple and interactive program that just not only just printing things, you are taking things from the user, considering his like answers and interacting with him. Okay, here we go to our Python. So program, I'm gonna just save this. I'm going to create a new script, Python script, and I'm going to call it program, let's say, which is a Python file. And so first thing that we say, we are just greeting the or interacting with the user, okay? So we can write print, let's say, hello there, for example, okay? Because here, for example, I don't know anything about the user. I don't know his name, for example. I don't know. So just hello there. Okay. Print. Okay, it's working. Now, what is the second step? So we said that we ask the user about their name. So I want to ask the user about his name. So just another print. This is what we'll show to the user. Print means you are going to show it here to the user. Don't show the print. Show hello there. Okay, the user, this is what he will see. This is going to be embedded next in kind of an app. You will have the interface to write hello there. Okay, so then we want to see that there also is print. What's your name? I want to interact. I want to know my user. Okay, so why it's double clear here? I don't know. This is weird. Okay. What's your name? What's your name? Okay. So I have what's your name as I mentioned here. Now, what's my name or what's your name? Here is just a print. It's just showing what's your name. There is no, it's not giving the hand to the user to write anything. You here, if you will try to take your keyword, I will write anything here. It's not writing in the, like in here, okay? I cannot see anything, okay? It's not interacting with the user because I want the interaction. I want to take the name from the user. So this must be kind of interaction. So what's your name here? It's an input. This makes it different. The use of input and the use of print functions. Both of them are functions. So the input function here, it gives the hand to the user to write something and to input. So here, what's your name? Now, if you see, I click in here, okay? I just go down. First, you see in my pie chart, like space here. In this space, if I click, you see it's blinking, so I can write something. I will take my scale and I will write anything. It's showing in green, okay? This is what I mean. So if it's showing there, means that the user is able. It's not like you are writing here. No, it's the user is able to write something. Let's suppose that the username is Chris, sorry, Chris Fulbright. It's a very nice name. Is correct? Is correct. Okay, Chris Fulbright. And now the user who is reading from your program, you are asking him about his name. He's writing his name. You are giving him the hand to write his name. He's not writing in your code. He do not have access to this code. So this is programmer space. This is user space. Okay. So what the user will do, just will press enter. Okay, and it's done. Which means that now at this level, now you have whatever like the user is giving as input, you have it saved as a variable. So now we have the name Chris Fulbright, okay? Unless and until we are saving that, okay? So this is why we need just to save it in some variable. We name it her name equal, and then this like variable is saved like whatever. If I'm writing here, Chris Fulbright, then it's saved now in my program. Before it was just in a print, it was not saved, but it's just I'm illustrating the idea. Now it's saved as a name. Okay, so you can recall, you can reuse. We will see what we can do later. So if I'm only asking the user to write like their names, it's just the line where I have my input function. If I am saving the username, means I am creating a variable name equal, and all that input of what's your name, I'm saving in that variable, okay? And now we will ask, or we will tell to the user, for example, how many characters are in their name. So in this case, I'm going to come back to PyChart. And so we have the name, now the name is saved. How I say like we understand the length of the name. We see that there is the length like function, and for this length function we apply it on some variable, string variable, which is the name that the user just provided using his own keyword. Okay, so now the length of the name we have, but we need to tell to the user like in a nice message that is going to show here. Like, for example, you have X, I don't know how much characters in your name, okay? And so we have, okay, keep this in aside because I'm teaching that this is a variable, okay? This is a variable. I will just comment in here. So this is a variable. And now what we want to do is that we want to print to the user that, okay, Mr. Chris, I would say your, for example, your name, or for example, you have how many like X, I would say, characters in your name. So this big X, I don't know. So we will discuss later. Okay, I'll just write X because this is a variable. Characters in your name. So when we are dealing with users, it's not only Mr. Chris is there. So we have all the students' names, for example, all the faculty names, all everyone's name. So they have different X here. If you are going to print here, so you need always to give the name first, okay? So let's put some different name to make you understand. It's like you're collecting data from user, okay? So here we are saving Granya's name, my name in the variable, and then it's saying to me, you have X characters in your name, but this X I need to understand. So mainly we say that this X is given by the length function, okay? Remember this. So I am supposed to just replace this X with the length of my name, which is a variable. Let's print. In all cases, it's showing any, we can give another name. What's your name? I would say Barbara. Okay. Yep. Then it's saying you have name characters in your name. Barbara, she understands very well. She's a great programmer, let's say. But Barbara, as a user, maybe don't know this name. She will say, "Oh, what's this like app is doing?" For example. So here, if we are dealing with programming, we need to just insert a variable within our message. So for a variable, we need to use this curly brackets, like I was teaching you before. Okay, and whenever we insert them, we use that f string to just clarify that this is a variable I'm inserting, and this is personalized for every different user, okay? So we are going to run again. Now, who is the user? The user, if I'm asking for screenshot from your lab or something, the program will not move forward until you just take your keyboard and write in this space your name, okay? So here we are going to write Chris Fulbright, for example, and I'm entering. Then it's going to tell you have 15 characters in your name, okay? I will try, for example, with a different use case or a different test case, no, for a different, like, a different name, I would say. What is it? So we're going just to run it again. And maybe I will write a different name just to test. As yeah. Here, so what we can see is you have 4 characters in your name. Okay. So for Chris, Fulbright is considering the space. Okay, this is why it's giving 50 characters. Okay. So I think I tried to make everything clear for you guys. We are solving this problem. And so now we are just able to like solve this kind of problems. I believe I give you all the basics, and mainly this is needed to interact with the user and to just start writing your programs, okay? I think that, yeah, there is an important note, by the way, just that the length, as I was mentioning, probably it's not just like only, it returns a number, not a string, okay? So if we want to use the output from the length function, make sure that it's a number. So if you are multiplying with that length, maybe you will need to add the quotes to manipulate it as a string. So just you're going to change the type, okay? So in order to concatenate, you make sure that you format it as a string. So this is probably my note in here, and just keeping you, I will upload my script, but this is just a solution that of whatever, I'm not sure if I was the same thing, but mainly this is what we were like doing, okay? Thank you so much. And again, never hesitate to reach out or to contact me anytime. So I'm always available. Time is flying and we're almost done, but we are good. Okay, wish you are doing great. Thank you.